In Fallout New Vegas, during the quest Unfriendly Persuasion, we find a strangely intelligent super mutant named Marcus in the super mutant only city called Jacobstown. In Jacobstown, we find a fair amount of disdain for the super mutants that inhabit it. Disputes frequently break out between them and the NCR mercenaries, and we find the self-proclaimed sheriff, Marcus, approaching us after discovering the city on our Pip-Boy and exiting the main house cell for the very first time. This is a good way to get a lot of caps in a speech check that is moderately low, and not a lot of work is needed or done on the player's part to complete this quest.
What? I've always known when to fight and when to back down, and it seems to me I ought to back down this time. My men and I are leaving. You won't see us around here again.
Now, notice Marcus states to pay off the alleged NCR mercenaries. However, if the player chooses the dialogue option, "Will caps make you go away?" you will be presented with a response that will open up a dialogue with Marcus, the mutant, asking him to pay off the mercenaries. Once the player hears this dialogue in-game, you can now approach Marcus and either A, inform him that the mercenaries want 2,500 caps to settle their debts instead of you paying them to leave, or option B, the player can lie to Marcus for a small karma loss and tell Marcus 3,000 caps are owed.
Something on your mind?
After you receive your caps, whether you choose the negative karma option or the default option, a speech check of 65 or greater must be achieved to keep the collateral caps. However, unless the player decides to kill the mercenaries and settle the situation by force.
What? I've always known when to fight and when to back down, and it seems to me I ought to back down this time. My men and I are leaving. You won't see us around here again.
As you can see, here are the caps. It seems Morton the Mercenary is a Sunset Sarsaparilla Star bottle cap collector, and for the curious player, you will also find a mercenary's note in the inventory of Morton. In the note, you will find a conversation between a representative of Senator Morales, and it states, "The Brahmin are an important part of Senator Morales' political base, and as he's coming up for re-election soon, those mutants at Jacobstown need to be driven off or provoked into an attack. The Senator wants to be able to show he's taking a strong stance against the mutant presence. But there can be no blood on our hands. So use the same tactics you did against those squatters back in Oak Creek. Harass the hell out of the mutants, but don't kill them unless they attack first." So it seems Morton was the one prone to violence, and the original intention of the Senator was to settle the dispute without a need for force. This is probably why we do not receive a karma loss in-game for killing Morton.
Something on your mind? Good. Glad you didn't kill them. Letting them walk away proves we're not bloodthirsty mutants. If NCR or anybody else is looking for an excuse to attack Jacobstown, they're not going to get it from us.
I think this is an overlooked and very unique dialogue and interaction between the super mutants of New Vegas, and shows a bit of a darker side to the NCR, while adding a bit of moral depth to the Fallout universe.